be a sponge, and then bring the juice.
By focusing on your improvement, by focusing on your progress, and eliminating any fixed mindset that you may have and acts of perfectionism, then you encourage your own mastery.
On some level, we do what we want to do 24 hours a day. Now, sometimes it may not seem like that, but if I'm choosing to work instead of sleep, what I'm actually saying is keeping my job is more important than sleeping.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting beat. What can I do to get over this hump? So mentally, that's when I kind of put that forefront, like, hey, it's either all or nothing.
I like to put failure in quotations because I don't believe that failure is true failure if you're looking at it with the right mindset.
The truth is, the journey to greatness is hard. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, and every day you have to decide what you value, what you want to pursue, and what you want to achieve. And if you dig deep enough, if you push hard enough, we all have what it takes to be great. Welcome to the Edge of Greatness. Hello and welcome to the Daily Dose. It is Thursday, March 9th, and I've been listening to Mark Devine's The Way of the Seal lately, and there was a moment in the book where he talks about feeding the right wolf. He mentions this a lot. It's something that is a common thing among all of his books. He has a whole book that's The Way of the Wolf, but I don't know. I found myself thinking about this quote or this story that we all have two wolves inside of us. A negative, disruptive, bad wolf, and then a good, positive, optimistic wolf. And it's up to us to decide which wolf we feed, because that's who we become. If we are constantly feeding the negative wolf, we will become a negative person. If we constantly feed the positive wolf, we become a positive person. And I believe this wholeheartedly because when I'm faced with tough moments, when I'm faced with adversity, I always find myself not being overly concerned with it. I find myself being like, well, it's just another moment. Here we go. And I don't think that that's just the way I'm wired. I think that's the way I've built myself to be that way. Now, I'm not saying I don't have concerns, I don't have worries, and I don't get upset. I'm saying that I don't immediately react with a negative response. I do my best to stay positive, stay calm, stay steady, which allows me to better navigate what's really going on in that moment. How bad is it really? Does it really need me to freak out and get into a situation where I'm losing control? Or does it need me to be steady? Does it need me to be present and to think through a solution? In my experience, the people who feed the negative wolf too much have really hard times when things aren't going as planned or they aren't going the way they think they should be going. Because as life starts to turn, that negative starts to rear its head. And it's a practice that you need to start to have when things are small. Because if you try to only do it when the big things show up, it's going to be too much. So try to start to change your phrasing, your outlook, the way you handle yourself in small situations. A really easy one to start with is how you look at traffic. Because let's be honest, we're all going to have that in our lives. There's no avoiding traffic. But for whatever reason, it triggers the most awful responses. And I know you're thinking of a few of them right now because I've had my moments too. And with that being said, I still have my moments. But I try to use those uncontrollable bad situations to reframe my thoughts, to say, well, I guess I should have left a little earlier, or I hope everyone's all right ahead. And shifting from my situation to why the traffic's there. Typically, there's something that happened ahead of me that's causing the slowdown. I hope it's not an accident. Because if I'm upset that I'm going to be stuck in traffic, but somebody ahead of me just got injured in an accident, I'm an a-hole. And I don't need to be that person. Small little subtle shifts like that on where we focus our energy, I think over time gives us the strength to handle the bigger problems later. So when you start to have moments in your life that you feel like you're about to be upset, you're about to lose your cool, you're about to blow up, try your best to adjust your perspective. Try your best to feed the positive wolf. The bad things that are happening, the hard things, the adversities, the difficulties, they're not designed to bring you down. They're designed to strengthen you. But you have to look at them from that perspective. You have to find a way to feed the positive wolf. And if you can do that over time, that wolf becomes stronger and it kills off the other one. But if you feed the negative wolf all the time, if everything is everyone else's fault, if everything is always blame this, blame that, point the finger, that negative wolf will become too powerful and you won't see the positive opportunities that are presenting themselves in your life. And then you're stuck. There's going to be ups and downs. That's the way of the world. We all have those problems. How we see those problems and how we face those problems, that's the difference in whether you achieve the success you want or you blame the world for the success you don't have. I choose to try my best to be positive in most situations. I'm human. I make mistakes. It's not always the case. But I believe I do a better job than most because I'm willing to look myself in the mirror. I'm willing to feed the positive wolf. I'm willing to own when I make mistakes. And that helps me kind of redirect myself into a place where I own my actions. I own my responses. I can be the person I need to be in every situation. I don't know. That quote resonated with me. The book's been really good. I've enjoyed it. And I felt like sharing that little tidbit with you right now because I think, it can make your life a little better. The more positive we are, the more luck seems to find us. And so maybe you can start to change your luck. Maybe you can start to change your perspective and find a way to feed that positive wolf. As always, guys, keep reaching for the stars. Fall flat on your face, but remember, whenever we fall, always get up.
Thank you for joining us today on the Edge of Greatness podcast. If you haven't yet, please take a minute now to subscribe and review our show. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the key components of greatness. The path to greatness is never linear, so remember to keep pursuing greatness no matter what. Keep stretching your abilities, reach for the stars, and fall flat on your face. But remember, no matter what happens, whenever we fall, always get up. Until next time, I'm Charles Schultz, and this was the Edge of Greatness podcast.